Okay, let's continue with our preview of the Ellerslie meeting, and this with the Punters Lounge live team with Brendan Popwell and Stephen Hunt there. Rocket Fuel 360 and 140 in the Trevor Eagle Memorial listed level. The next we have a look at Jip Jip Rock was terrific last time out, 390, and OK Annie at 460 and 170. Stephen, we've seen money come for Jip Jip Rock. If I remember rightly, it was $5.50 on opening. Is that right?
$4.58 in that third line of betting when we opened. Now $3.90, second favourite Jip Jip Rock. Rocket Fuel still heads the market at $3.60. The key factor around this individual is she ticks the box around a wet track, and Rocket Fuel winning one start on a heavy track earlier in her preparation. But well found at $3.60. They're willing to spec a couple here, including Annie OK, $4.60 off a peak of 5.8. The best back runner has been number 2. We had Stephen Marsh earlier on the program, and this was the best of his 2 runners in this listed race. Factor Me In. Opie Boston does the riding, 1 start for 1 win. $10 was the opening line. Got as short as $9 this morning. It's now trading at $7.50. So that there just represents the continuation of money flowing for Factor Me In. Espresso Martini, well back, $9 from a peak of 13. So look, they're speaking 4 or 5 horses here, but if I had to give a slight lead, it would be for number 2, Rocket Me In.
Factor Me In, yeah, it was pretty good last time. Brendan, it's a race where we've seen these fillies really showcase what they've got. Rocket Fuel, Espresso Martini, who will get somewhere near speed in the Ellerslie last time. I thought she was terrific at Te Aroha, Jip Jip Rock, and some emerging talents among the others. It's a really good running of this race.
It is, isn't it? And I think you've got to be really factoring in what we've seen there with the moves around a couple of horses. Jip Jip Rock winning. Even though it was a midweek race, it was a very strong race because I thought the form should hold up out of it. And the way the horse dashed away, and it was a significant win as well, of course, because that gave Dawn Williams win number 1,000 in her career. And then Factor Me In with the way the horse was able to present on a day where you needed to be up and running at New Plymouth, won nicely, getting down the centre part of the track, and has been a good move for the horse. It's hard to ignore, though, the form out of the Soliloquy Stakes, isn't it, with Rocket Fuel and also Annie OK. They've run second and third behind a horse who goes on to win the 1,000 guineas in Media Sensation. And, of course, the 4th horse in this race, who they both beat home, these 2 runners, comes out and runs second in the 1,000 guineas in Vallely. So you'd imagine this is the rock-solid form that punters want to work off with these 2 horses, Rocket Fuel and also Annie OK. And the key thing with Rocket Fuel as well, Aidan, is that this horse did run third and behind Avantage and also Expression in the Gold Trail Stakes. 2 starts to go to the races. Yes, as Stephen pointed out, if the rain does arrive here, that won't be a problem for her. She's been able to win on a heavy surface around Te Awamutu, but as we saw there, she certainly has no problem in being on top of the ground, finishing second behind Media Sensation. So look, I went with the 6 over the 7. I do like Factor Me In. I saw enough in the horse's win in a maiden win out of New Plymouth, the way the horse was able to let down, and Jib Jib Rock as well, the other horse that I've got into my numbers. This is the first of our black type races. I went 6 to beat 7, 2 and 9.
Good on you, Brendan. You make a good point about that Gold Trail Stakes as well. And yeah, we're the favourite there, Rocket Fuel. Let's move you on to the 6th. This one, the Bays Foundation 1400, where Rondinella comes up at 480, 195 favourite. I thought this was a super race. Like a Steel there, Lika Steel at 550 and at 230. $9 Star Treasure Ritani as well. I like McToom here as well at $10. Really good race, Stephen. What's the money lead telling us?
Yeah, deep field, Aidan, with plenty of chances, and there's 4 or 5 again. They're punting into this particular market, option 206, headed by Rondinella, $4.80. Was as short as $4, so it's just eased slightly. Whether that's on the back of rain forecasted later on this afternoon, I'm not too sure. But Rondinella just eased 4 out to 4.8. A couple of horses they have specced in early trading. La Castell, $5.50 off a high of $7, and Star Treasure, who was backed and beaten when it resumed a few weeks back at Rotorua, opened at $13, as short as $9, and we've accepted 2 $1,500 bets, one at $12 and one at $11 around Star Treasure. So with those 2 sizable investments on this runner, he is our biggest liability come race 6.
Okay, terrific race this one, Brendan. We'll have a look at the speed map for you, and it'll show Hatton Garden, Hotsaki, Oh He Can getting forward, but wow, this is a race with huge depth.
Isn't it? I mean, outside of our 2 black type races, this is the undercard feature, isn't it? This rating 72 over 1,400 metres. this race is so deep with form, and you would imagine that this is going to be one of those races you'll look back over the Christmas carnival and you'll be branching off it. You'll be looking at this race for Boxing Day. No doubt about it. This is just one of those races. Lucas Steele, I really did like the run out of Tauranga when she ran into second position behind a horse by the name of Popstar Princess, who has come out and been stakes place last Saturday, of course, in the Counties Bowl. Rondinella, so impressive with what she went through the back end of her 3-year-old preparation. To come back from injury and to win like this first time presented to the races. We've heard so much about how highly the team rates this horse in Rondinella. That being Roger James, and even the jockey in Vinnie Colgan as well has always expressed his high opinion of her ability and talent. And she showed that first up here when she got back against the rail, where she drew well and was able to pierce between runners and show her turn of foot and pick up, like we saw when she won out of Tauranga, when she won her maiden race, Rondinella. Gee, there's so many ways you can go in this race. I'm going to go with Lucas Steele on top, runner number 8. Let's go to that particular video for you now. I just love the way that this horse, first of all, trialled up. I thought she trialled with the look of some improvement off her trial, and again off the back of this run where she's been able to follow up Popstar Princess. She's been presented and she has still found nicely down the straight. Of course, Popstar Princess had a couple of runs under her belt going into this race, but she is taking ground late in the piece and going through the line is Lucas Steele. Interesting runners in the race, the likes of Muck Tomb, the way that he won last time to the races. Star Treasure took a torrent of money at Arawa Park when first up for the Wexford team. Blinkers come off, but the barrow draw's awkward. And look, I didn't mind Fiancé as a horse that if you wanted to play a bit of a roughie in the race, if you wanted to find something at $30, could run a race here today. If the rain comes, that's not going to be a problem. The horse did win on a slow track at Morfettville before going to Hong Kong. He just might be a little each way spec in the race. And gee, you'd have to like the way that She's Not Bad attacked the line when winning the daughter of He's Remarkable at Hawke's Bay. Gee, you haven't even mentioned Sandrine yet, runner number 12 in the book. It's just one of those races, Aidan, you'll want to watch a number of times for a reference moving into the Christmas.
Yeah, it's a good race. There's no two ways about that. Leads us on to the feature as well, which is the Group 3 running of the Eagle Technology Stakes. At the bottom of the book, Love Affair comes into this beautifully. Group 2 performer, placed in behind Tiako Shark 3 starts back. 240 and 115, just been undone in the last couple by races that were not run to suit the pace of the race, and she's been in awkward spots. But hard to beat today. You're getting 7s Giovanni Canaletto, 750 Ronki, and Our King Sway, and 850 Mishka Mushka. Stephen, where's the money?
Touch of caution around the investments into this particular race, and no surprise. Best placed horse up and down the country, Love Affair, unless the rain arrives, and that's just a simple fact of life around this particular individual. How bad does it have to be in terms of the stable scratching her throughout the afternoon, Love Affair? But Punter's pretty happy to take the $2.50 that was offered on this morning, now as short as $2.40. She's one of 2 multi-specials at HQ today, the other one earlier in the day in Proper Beal, the 2-year-old. But Love Affair, very popular in multis, around about 900 going through her, and some already finishing on her on the back of some nice key results earlier in the day at Wanganui. Giovanni Canaletto, $7. Got a short of $6.50 yesterday afternoon, Aidan. Just out half a point to $7, Giovanni Canaletto, and she is that same price as Ronki. Our King Sway, bit of a move here this morning, $7.50 off a peak of $10. Outside Love Affair, that is the second best bat runner today in terms in this particular race, Our King Sway. Outside that, pretty friendless, a little bit of specking around Tiptronic, 11 into 10. But all in all, Love Affair, Punter's pretty happy to back her until track conditions maybe worsen and should be a withdrawal.
Okay, good information coming through, Stephen. One thing, Brendan, this speed map might be a little bit tricky. There doesn't seem to be a great deal of speed here. 1770, they've got Tiptronic leading, which is interesting. And I thought Ronki would probably press forward from out a little bit wider as well. I don't think it's going to be a fast run.
No, and that's the thing that you pointed out around Love Affair as well, with a couple of races that have just tripped her up. I mean, do they try and ride the horse like the best horse in the race today and really try and make sure that she's in that winning position on the home bend? I think you're right, Aidan, with everything that we've seen from her about around this time last year. She was in terrific form, and what she's done so far this preparation, she's the horse to beat, and that's why she's rated at the quote of $2.40. Look, I don't mind trying to play a couple of other horses around her in the race this afternoon. This horse that we're going to show you is a real watch horse again today, and if you were watching at Tauranga, you were probably watching and then placing the horse in your race tracker. Giovanni Canaletto. This was a very good run off a race that was won up front by Sleeping Beauty. First time here in NZ over a distance of 1,300 metres, which was always going to be far too sharp for the horse. But he does all his best work here to finish into 4th position. He'd be better once he gets up over and even a touch further. He's up to the 1,600 metres here this afternoon. If he runs a very good race, expect him to see him maybe even looking to go up to the 2,000 metre distance as well for Giovanni Canaletto. Did like his run though, and he's a horse that I'll be lobbing into a trifecta in first 4. I've got him in my numbers here today. Look, the horse I have gone for is Our King Sway. Now, if there is the rain that is to arrive, it's going to play into his hands. He ran 3rd in the Matamata Cup, don't forget as well, this horse. Of course, that was in behind Deals and Heels with Demonetisation, who ran 2nd in that race. Did beat home a horse by the name of Sheriff, who's come out and been a winner following. So he ran 3rd in a strong race. We know that he's capable enough as Our King Sway. He's been a mover from 10s into $7.50. I made him my each way bet of the day here this afternoon in Our King Sway. If anything happens out here in terms of more moisture, it'll bring him into the race. 7 on top in front of the 10 in Love Affair, who is the horse they'll all be looking for to try and beat in the race. The 1 Giovanni Canaletto, and also the 6 in Mishka Mushka. Blinkers going on. Love the way this horse worked home into 4th position last week at Pukekohe Park.
Yeah, I agree. That horse not out of this race for sure here, Brendan. Let's move you on to the last of the program, though, and the 8th and final event on the Twilight card. So this one's away at 6.50. We'll see the Physical Fantasy coming into this with good form, 361.45, getting 6.50 about the Magnate, who was okay last time, and outside that, really even. Skaboom was good last time, as was Franklin, although draws wide. What's the money lead in this one, Stephen, the last of the program?
Just like race 6, the rating 72, 1,400 with Rondinella heading the market. This is a very competitive race with plenty of winners to come out of it heading towards Christmas. But Physical Fantasy went up a $3.50 favourite, just eased slightly to $3.60. No doubt if you could promise a decent track would be losing on this individual, but being the last race, they are shopping a few horses to beat number 7 in Physical Fantasy. One of them being number 4, the Magnate, $6.50 off a peak at $8. Skaboom has been well supported, $9.80 on opening on Friday afternoon, now sharing that 3rd line of betting with Franklin at $7. And also they're speaking a couple here in the middle market. Top Actress on the back of a maiden win at Te Awamutu on a slow track. Sam Spratt does the riding with Danielle Johnson being injured on Top Actress. $12 trading now off a peak of $25. So there's one you definitely want to include in the last leg of the quaddie. And also Bella Blue, who we all know has that rain affected box tick in terms of this track does deteriorate with rain. Bella Blue 16 off a peak of 21. So Top Actress, Bella Blue, well shopped in the middle market. Overall best back runner has been the Magnate at $6.50.
Geez, it's an even race the last of the program, isn't it? And I don't know if I'd want to be finding one to get out here, Brendan. Hopefully I'm well in front by this point. The Magnate likely to get forward according to the Form Pro speed map. Who'd you like?
Aren't we already in front after the races at Wanganui so far? Anyway, race number 8, the Magnate, who's probably a horse who can show enough speed to be able to find the top. I can tell you, just a little squally shower just sort of came across the track there for a couple of moments. It's just going to be one of those days, isn't it, here, where the rain is lurking, and there are going to be times where some rain will fall, but just how much will be falling throughout. And of course, this race is run at 10 to 7. Tonight, the last race. Look, Physical Fantasy did produce a very good run when presented last time to the races into 4th position here at Ellerslie behind Rhinestone Cowboy, where he looks incredibly untapped, doesn't he, with what he did yesterday out of Altaki. He did Rhinestone Cowboy. So nice runs from her with the way that she's attacked the line. And clearly it's going to be an issue if we do get into a wetter track for this runner. Physical Fantasy. Let's go back and have a look at the run. When finishing into 4th position, a mile off them when finishing into 4th spot here. I would point out another horse here who just never got the favours in the run, and that being Fancy Moore, who is a horse who's back in the purple cap and just never really gets a clean shot at them. So even though it might say the horse was never sighted, it didn't exactly have the clearest of runs at the same time, Fancy Moore. So out wide is Fiscal Fantasy, but gee, I'll be giving Fancy Moore another chance because they hold the horse in very high regard. You've only got to look at what the horse produced last preparation. And I reckon that the cut in the ground, just a little give in the ground, would bring this horse right in. $19 on the tote at this present stage. Of course, it's a wee while away from the last race, but you're getting $9.50 fixed odds. So I will be saving on that horse, Fancy Moore. I do like her chances here with her toe into the ground. Put the 7 on top, but liking the 6 each way, and then the 14 in the race book, which was the runner that Stephen pointed out that had a lot of money around it, from 25s into around $12, and Top Actress. I did like the way that horse did win when a maiden last time out of Waipa and Franklin, runner number 1. 7, 6, 14 and 1. So that's a look at the last race. Let's now go through best bet, value bet, and also strategy for the day. Aidan, I'm going to go with Rocket Fuel as my best bet here in race number 5, a horse who can handle good track conditions, but if the rain does arrive, that won't be a problem for her. And Our King Sway is the value in race number 7. Strategy, playing Rocket Fuel in race number 5, 20 to win. Going each way in a great race to take a couple of horses each way in race 6. Fiance, who's going to go around at 30s, and Lurker Steel at around $5 or $6. 10 each way on those. 10 each way out King Sway. And then in the last race, race number 8, Fancy Moore and also Fiscal Fantasy, $10 to win on those 2 runners. Don't forget 2 as well, Aidan, before we get back to you. I did have a chat to Sean Phelan, who does, of course, look after our big Mike, who runs in Moonee Valley tonight, or this afternoon. Did speak to the team, and they did say the horse is very well since his placing in the Kyneton Cup. Does believe if he can nip around Moonee Valley, he could be a very hard horse to catch. They've had a nice space between runs for our big Mike, so look out for him at Moonee Valley. And of course, he's rather excited about having a ride in the Jericho Cup tomorrow. Of course, both he and Emily Farr have a ride in a $400,000 race tomorrow at Warrnambool.
Yeah, that's really exciting, isn't it? And thanks for reminding us that those things are happening too, Brendan. Yep, good luck with your day, and of course, just spending Stephen Hunt's money, of course, with your $100 spend there today as well. Stephen, thanks for coming on, giving us all that information. Let's hopefully your day might improve.
Can only improve. It can't get any worse, Aidan.
Good stuff. I really enjoyed your insight on the Punters Lounge live today as well. Live racing continues. We're off to Wanganui very shortly, 9 minutes out from the next to the program, and it's been a big old day there as well at Wanganui.